Now, here are Kelly Ripa and Anderson Cooper.
March 13th, 2008, Regis has the day off, and Anderson Cooper, AC360 in the his Yes.
Is that what the kids say?
That's what the kids say these days, yeah.
Wow, you're keeping it real. I like that. Thank you very much.
Keep it real.
Yes, you're very street.
You know, I went out last night, and when I came home,
Where'd you go?
Of course, Regis and I actually went to the Stephen A. Gaynor benefit, which is this great school, the Stephen Gaynor School here in New York City. It deals with children who have specialized learning needs. And Regis emceed. He was phenomenal. And I wasn't going to go into this now, but I have a picture of Regis there. And this is one of the founders. That's Mimi Gaynor right there. And that's me on the other side.
Cool.
And he was really great. Phenomenal night. And Walk on Roll on the Lipstick Jungle. Brooke Shields was there.
Oh, yeah?
Went for 46 grand.
Wow.
$46,000. Mark and I were bidding on it, and then I was like, forget it. I don't want to be an actor that bad.
Well, I got to tell you, I actually auctioned myself off. You know, they do sort of charity auctions where you have lunch with somebody. So
why wasn't I at that auction, Anderson?
So last year, it's for Bailey House, and last year I got auctioned off, and someone paid $21,000 for lunch for me. So I was, you know, I couldn't believe it.
Right.
This
so now
year,
you're thinking you have to do something for that, right?
Well, not so much. It wasn't that kind of a lunch. But so this year I do it again, and I made $4,000, like $5,000. And then I was like, I literally have all been racking my brain for like a week thinking, what have I done wrong?
What have you done wrong?
I know.
I think you're just as hot as you were a year ago. But
well, I appreciate that.
Apparently,
I don't need your sympathy. I don't need it.
There's a bargain basement fire sale on Anderson Cooper.
Yeah. I shudder to think next year I'm going to have to pay.
Yeah, you know? Right, exactly.
Yeah, well, or have my mom, like, you know, bid it up.
But speaking of paying, well, we came home from the event, is what I was getting to. We came home from the event, and I immediately tuned into AC360, which I watch every night, and you had a pimp on your show.
A former pimp. Let me just put that. Yeah.
I said I have now seen it all. I can go to my grave because I've seen it all.
You were shocked? You were mortified?
I wasn't shocked or mortified. I was just like, wow. There's something you don't see on AC360 every day.
You know, there are times when you find yourself interviewing people, and suddenly in the middle of the interview, you're just thinking to yourself, what am I doing? Like, how did this all come about? But of course, this all come about because of the governor, and we all know these are the front pages: disgrace, Gov's girl. I guess yesterday, New York Times revealed the identity of the young woman allegedly involved in all this. And she's like sequestered in her apartment and in the Flatiron District, and there's reporters all around it. And
sure. It's funny, I said to Mark, I didn't know that they could reveal her identity like that, but then I figured that, why wouldn't they be able to?
Well, she's got a MySpace page, and which is now, you know, anyone can go to it. And she also wants to be a singer, so this is probably, she's got a career now, you know? Like, she's the next American Idol.
Right.
You know? Basically.
Right.
She and Paula Abdul are going to do a video together. It's very possible. Yeah. Paula won't know what she's doing, or who she is, but,
Sweet
you know.
Paula. Sweet Paula.
I love Paula Abdul.
I do, too.
Although I find it fascinating.
By
totally. Absolutely fascinating. I do find it strange. Have you noticed Paula Abdul's recent fixation with ripping people's heads off? What, there's that kid, David Archuleta.
Archuleta.
Right. And, and her comment about him was, I want to rip your head off and mount it on my dashboard. I was like, I don't quite get that.
Yeah, I've been working on my Paula Abdul imitation.
Oh, really?
And I've kind of gotten it down. It's okay, so she's like, David, you stay you are who you are, and you're like a beam of color.
That is great. Yeah. That is great. She's also
she probably hates that, but I love it because it's like a fascinating, like you.
Well, she's also always like, David, just say, yeah, all the colors of the rainbow. and then she's always mixing, like, if only people could see what we hear.
Right. That was a good one. That was my favorite one. If people could see what we hear, I'm like, do you see
and I think
what I hear?
And Simon Cowell, I did an interview with Simon Cowell on 60 Minutes, so I spent some time with him. I'm a big fan of his, but I think he's had it with Paula Abdul. He's now just, he sits there, I don't know if you noticed, he sits there and just watches her and like challenges her on all like her grammatical mistakes and everything. Well, I've started to almost feel bad for her.
But I've also been working on my Simon Cowell impersonation.
Oh, excellent.
Because he does this thing now that I love, and he's like, oh, well, I don't think that you did yourself any favors with that song. Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, I also like it.
I don't. Sorry.
I also like it that. And everything is bad karaoke. Is there a good karaoke? Like, is there?
Well, clearly you haven't heard my rendition of "You're the One That I Want." It's incredible karaoke.
I also like it how Simon Cowell this season doesn't seem to remember any of their contestants' names.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I don't remember the contestants' names.
What's the Scottish girl's name?
The Irish one.
What's
Who's
the Irish girl? Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah. And did you watch last night?
I did.
What's his name? David Hernandez was
Hernandez.
Voted off.
Yeah.
David stripped of Idle Hope.
Stripped of Idle Hope.
All the stripper jokes. I feel
Already,
for the guy.
I'm losing on my Idol pool.
Really?
I really am.
Who do you think is going to win? Have you?
I'm now rethinking my whole thing.
Because you thought David Archuleta, but he's been choking lately.
I thought for sure David Archuleta, but who knew that he would, really have... I think it was performance anxiety, because he still had a beautiful voice.
But he forgot the words.
He forgot the words, and he clearly looked rattled.
He should not try to walk and sing, I think, at the same time. I think that's part... You know what I mean? I mean, he's clearly a great singer.
Yes.
He should just
he needs to be
stand
stationary.
There. Right. Don't try to do too much at one time.
Sometimes their advice is the wrong advice, in my opinion, because they told him to try to be less somber, but somber works for him.
Right,
somber is good for him. Somber keeps him at the piano.
I think you used to be like the fourth Idol judge.
I really?
They wouldn't give you a seat. You just like jump up and be like.
But I wouldn't know who to imitate. I'd be like, so yo, what's up, dude? Are you having fun? and then I would go into, because it's like, you look great. You're like, you are who you are. But you did yourself no favors with that song. Sorry. Sorry. Obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
And I gotta say, Ryan Seacrest is really talented, because to move a show like that along, to get it in on time, it looks like he's not doing anything, but it is a real skill.
He is the most undervalued person, I think, in that whole equation, because he's got to like move. Not only does he have to get that show in on time and move these performers, but some of these people have just been devastated.
Oh, right,
and are on edge.
Well, did you see the one where, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, where the woman completely didn't expect, she had like a little gap in her tooth, she totally didn't expect to get booted off. And she had to like turn around, and she was like weeping.
Well, it was an apocalyptic response. She was like, oh my God! And
then she was like, I can't sing.
I can't sing. And then it was,
and then all the other Idol contestants were like, oh, we'll help you, we'll support you through it. Of course, because they wanted more airtime.
Yeah.
They want to be like, she's gone, we'll you know, and then they all like cry and stuff. I so don't buy it.
You don't know, like, is it sobbing? I understand.
It's relief. Thank God it was her and not me.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I think there's a lot of emotion there. There's a lot, and I'm not saying it's not genuine.
Oh, I'm saying it's not genuine.
No.
You have to do this show every day and talk to these people. I don't.
No, but I'm saying a lot of it is, I think, more just the raw nervousness of it all.
It's got to be
and
huge,
just being awash with relief.
Also, how surreal to be, just living your life one day, and then, a week or two later, suddenly have the entire country know who you are. Mm-hmm. Everything you've ever done revealed on the internet. It's got to be, surreal for these people.
It is surreal. I mean, I remember when I came out of relative obscurity to host this show. And people were like, aren't you the girl from My Story? And I said, yes. Whatever happened to you? I'm like, well, I host a talk show now. Yeah, so no, I actually don't know what that's like. But I know what it's like to be uber famous and to be in OK Magazine.
Oh,
and
are you?
And do you know what it's like, Anderson Cooper?
No, I've never been in OK Magazine.
You've never been in OK Magazine?
I don't know what OK Magazine is, to be
Until
honest.
now.
Oh,
This
great.
is the Silver Fox page.
Right.
And look who's number 2.
Wow, there you go. Yeah.
Number 1 is George Clooney. Although I believe that he is salt and pepper and not a true silver fox.
Well,
so I
you
think
know-
that you should be bumped up to number 1.
You know, first of all, in my mind, I still have brown hair, so every time, it's true, it's very sad. I started going gray when I was like 21. I started with a little patch here. This white patch was the first thing. And at first, I just thought it was some strange anomaly. Then it started to spread. And then
Like a rash.
Like a rash, exactly. And, you know, it's... well, actually, yeah, I won't say that. But it's surprising. And then, you know, you kind of think, well, maybe I should do something about it. But then the idea of, like, sitting in a salon for, I don't know how long it takes to dye your hair, but hours with, like, tinfoil reading old copies of Rosie, it just didn't seem like a good idea.
No, it's not appealing.
Yeah, it wasn't appealing. So, you know, so I just let it go. And now, then I used to say, all right, I have salt and pepper, and I kind of like that. But now all the pepper seems to be gone, and I'm just left with this, like, cruddy salt.
No, it's very good.
No, I really...
We like it.
No,
we
I
like
just,
it.
Well, thank you.
You and I have the same color hair.
We do not.
No, we do.
We have the same color hair.
I'm totally gray.
I do not believe that.
No,
for a
I really am.
second.
I'm very Phil Donahuean. Yeah, I am. But I dye it dark and then I highlight it. So I have 4 hairs on my head that could fall out at any time.
It's unfair for young women, or they're treated differently if they have gray hair than young men.
Yes.
I mean, not that I'm so young
when
anymore,
did you?
but
When did you started going
yeah,
gray?
like 21.
Yeah, me
but
too.
if you're a 21-year-old woman with gray hair, people think you're like.
People make fun. People don't even know the difference.
They think you're like a roadie for Peter, Paul, and Mary. Or
Right.
something.
Well, they're
Yeah.
like, "Is that gray hair?" And I'm like, "No, it's
I
just
don't
my
know.
hair gets blonde in the sun. It gets really blonde. It gets really blonde and really wiry."
How tall are you?
How tall am I?
Yeah.
5'4".
5'4".
Yeah.
Huh.
What does that mean? How tall are you, lady?
I love it that someone in the audience just.
A hair.
5'4". My God, who knew? She looked tall on TV.
5'8" with heels.
Well, that's right. I'm 5'8" with heels.
Do you think that's short, or do you think that's tall?
I think it's probably considered short. I think the average is 5'7".
In Europe, you're considered enormously tall, though.
Really?
No, I don't know. I'm making that up. Because I just read this article. It says that
When I went to El Morro in Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
I realized that during that time when they had that castle there, I would have been tall because I had to duck down
it's
to
true.
get
Well,
through
back
it.
in the olden times, people
Right.
were
Before calcium was invented.
When did they invent calcium?
I don't know.
Can someone go on Google
I
that
forgot
for
to
us?
take mine today. I'm one calcium pill away from
I like
literally
it.
just collapsing in half.
I
Why?
love the idea that someone invented calcium. Be like, Eureka! I'll put some chalk in and... So we saw this article
Yeah.
that it says short people are most prone to jealousy, say scientists. Which I find...
Really?
Yeah, do you think that's true?
Probably.
This-
Well, I mean, we're probably maybe like jealous of. You mean being jealous of like taller people?
Or of
Like, there are
other
times
people.
I'm like,
It says
curses.
taller men are more successful with women, and women of median height enjoy the best health, fertility, and popularity with men. Do you think that's true? The woman of medium height.
I
It's
don't
like,
know.
yeah.
I feel popular. Let me just say.
And I should point out that Kristen, Elliot Spitzer's alleged, was 5'5". So there you go. I don't know what
So
that
what
means.
would that be considered?
I don't know. I'm just
Tall or
throwing that out
average
there.
height?
I don't know.
Was she popular?
Apparently, well, $4,300 an hour seems pretty popular to me. But
I know. It makes you kind of go, honey, you owe me 10 grand.
Well, did you see David Letterman has been, talking about this obviously a lot, and he's been
I mean, it's
brilliantly
like
funny about it.
It's given his show like a whole
Yeah,
platform.
he did a top 10 list, and the list was the surprises during Elliot Spitzer's resignation. Number 1 was when reporters asked how much he paid per hour, his wife said, "Believe me, he doesn't need an hour."
Okay,
wasn't me. It was Letterman. Yeah, it was
We're
David
just
Letterman.
reading it out of the newspaper.
By the way,
Anderson, you're bleeding, by the way. Do you
my
need
God.
a Band-Aid?
I am bleeding.
Anderson is bleeding,
How did that
everyone.
happen?
Oh,
It's not that.
First date.
What? You're not allowed to do that? No.
I don't know. That's not sanitary.
I don't know how. I must have hit myself on the table.
Probably.
We'll take care of it.
We'll get you a Band-Aid.
So this
before the-
band, Cowboy Mouth, which is
Yes.
a band from New Orleans,
Yes.
who when you all were down there, you had them perform.
And by the way, speaking of New Orleans, you are, I told you this before, the hero of New Orleans.
No,
the
it's a
champion
great city.
of New Orleans.
I try to go down a lot, but it's and the New Orleans is doing great, by the way. I mean, there's a lot still needs to be done, but all the restaurants are open. It's a great place for tourists to go. I encourage everyone to go down.
Well, people know that we're friends, and when I was there, they literally would come up to me and say, "Tell Anderson that he's a rock star here," and we just
that's
love
nice.
him so
But
much.
this band has written Cowboy Mouth. They're going to perform today their song Kelly Ripa.
Yes, they
And I actually got some of the lyrics for it.
Hold your applause.
But the chorus is Kelly Ripa, a mommy with the body of a stripper. Kelly Ripa, she's so fine I'd settle for her dad. I don't quite get that line. Kelly Ripa, if I had some chocolate, I would dip her. I like that. They're going to be performing later on.
here.
A Band-Aid, thank you.
Look, Band-Aids.
Wow.
Bandages.
Thank you.
Do you
Is
need
this
help?
the first medical emergency you've had live on the show?
Oh, no. Are you kidding?
Really?
I have taken a splinter out of Regis's finger that
Really?
was literally the size of a 2x4. And he's like, you know, I was feeling some discomfort. I didn't know why. I'm like, could it be that giant tree stump you have in the palm of your hand?
How did he get do people get splintered?
Regis is a splinter magnet.
He was woodworking.
He was doing some woodworking right
He
before
was
the show.
a pipe.
Yes. I was wondering what all those shavings in the back were.
A lot of people don't know that Regis does whittle his own pipe.
A corn cob pipe. Remember corn? Do they still have corn cob pipes?
Yeah, I mean, I think
What
we
was
have
that?
a corn cob pipe, and we always put it in the snowman's mouth.
Yeah.
But we haven't had any snow, so no use for the corn cob pipe.
Oh, well.
But you can get them around. You can get them around Christmas time. You can get them at the county fair.
Wow.
Well, we've got a big show today.
Yes,
Are
we
you
do.
ready? we should get on with the real
If I don't
guests,
pass
the
out
real
from blood
stars.
loss.
Charlize
Theron
Theron
is here. From the movie Sleepwalker. Also, Cowboy Mouth is going to perform the new song Kelly Ripa. I'm very
Yes.
excited.
And Cheryl Hines is here, the new film, The Grand.
Cheryl Hines is great. Love her.
You ready for our Yeti?
Oh man, I'm so excited. I'm glad it's no longer just a regular trivia go-go. I'm glad it's now Yeti
You're
trivia,
Yeti
a
obsessed.
snowbow.
Yes, bring down the Yeti.